Welcome to Spin the Wheel Showdown, where every video I sit down with a guest and we're going to spin that leader wheel. And depending on what the wheel gets, we're going to be playing a game with two different random leaders, some of the leaders we have not played, and going to see who is the better leader. Now let's spin that wheel and see what we get. What's up, everybody? The wheel has spoken, and today I'm going to be playing some Shanks versus Uta. This is actually my first time piloting Shanks. Yes, it's been a few weeks in 09 now, and I have yet to touch Shanks. I was still waiting on some cards in the mail, did not open everything I needed for the deck, but I have everything now, and we're going to be piloting some good old Shanks. So far, I've played this deck now, posted this recording at least twice now, and I've actually really liked this deck. This deck's kind of right up my alley for playstyle. I like those decks that kind of just control the game, just try to survive early on, and then go for big, huge characters that disrupt the board and deal damage. Here in the later game here. Opponent's going to go and swing 6k into my Shanks. I'm just going to 2k out of that there. And kind of the goal in the early game for Shanks is to stay alive. This deck usually runs quite a few 2ks, so shouldn't be too difficult alongside the leader ability here. As we're going to be going into Uta, who Uta decided to go first. I think I ended up winning the die roll. I decided to go second because that's the best position Shanks wants to be in. Just being able to go from an 8 Dawn into a 10 Dawn turn to play like your Rayleigh or your Dragon into your 10 drop Shanks is just kind of the best thing that you want to be doing here. We're going to swing 5 candle lead. I'm going to go ahead and get a 1k out of my opponent here, and we're going to play out Lucky Roo. Another pretty good card in this matchup. Lucky Roo KOs a 6k or less when it is KO'd. So it's a blocker as well, so I can block with it and then KO something else, a potential additional attacker, something like that. So pretty solid turn here for Shanks into a very relatively aggressive deck that is usually going to run quite a few 5ks and 6ks here. Going to go ahead and swing 6k at lead here. That's going to reveal, I think that's Backlight. There's so many arts for so many Uta cards, it is hard to tell which one that one is. I think that is Backlight. I think it's received its 3rd different art now. So yeah, if you're an Uta player or trying to play against Uta, yeah, the events have so many different arts now, it's really hard to keep track. But I'm just going to easily 2k out of that one. I could use leader ability to, make it 5k and then use a 1k counter, but I've got 2ks aplenty in my hand right now, so might as well just keep using those. We can save those 1ks as things to play out, like blockers and things like Beckman, though I haven't had a good chance to look at my hand here. He's going to go ahead and play Nami out. Nami's going to come into play. Going to pay 1 additionally, so that's why I paid 4 for Nami to look at the top 3. Add a film card to your hand. Believe it or not, this card has actually been seeing less play in Uta builds. When I was building this deck, I was looking online and trying to look around for various ideas of Uta decks in 09, and surprisingly, a lot of Uta decks have been cutting this card, and I'm curious as to why. Just because it's so much advantage, right? When on play and when it attacks, it's going to give you a film card out of the top 3, which at this point, if you're playing Uta, your entire deck is filmed, so you're always going to be finding something every single turn just for 1 Dawn. Maybe it's because it's counterless, who knows, but I really like this card, and I think this card definitely is stable in Uta. I don't think I'm running 4 of, I think I'm just running a 3 of here, as the list has gotten pretty tight, but it's a pretty great card. We're going to send 6 into lead here. I do have 5 Dawn up, which likely means either a 5-cost Rayleigh or an ace here. We're going to play 5-cost Rayleigh. Unfortunately, his ability does not trigger because you need to have 2 5k or more characters on your opponent's side of the field, and unfortunately that chopper does not qualify for a 5k character, so no draw 2 trash 1 for me. Going to go ahead and pass back to Uta. Uta's going to go up to the 7 Dawn turn. This is kind of the turn, if you've played against Uta or play Uta, is the turn that you slam down 7-drop Luffy. Can he chain potentially into 3 characters this turn? We'll see if he can do that here, but it looks like a 7-cost Luffy has come to the front of the hand, as well as a Sanji, 4-cost Sanji here. Looks like he's got another, looks like 2 Luffys in hand here, so we could see back-to-back 7-drop Luffys. Luffy, quite the threat, not something I can easily take care of with Shanks. I need a little bit more minusing power besides Beckman, alongside Beckman, to be able to take out Luffy here, but not going to be too afraid of a 7k here. Once we get towards the later game, a lot of my threats are going to be well above that power threshold, where I don't really have to commit any Dawn to swing into it here. We're going to see a 7k, going to see the 7-drop Luffy come out, and then we're going to see, looks like potentially the 4-cost Sanji? Yep, 4-cost Sanji is going to come out here. That Sanji does grow if it has Dawn attached, based on the amount of rested Dawn that you have. I think in pairs of 3, so Sanji could potentially take himself up to 5k on a future turn here. Going to go into my 8 Dawn turn. You best believe if I've got 8 cost Rayleigh, I'm gonna be slamming him down here. But looks like I've got a bin Beckman here to the front of my hand, as it looks like I've got a dragon in hand. No 8 cost Rayleigh at this point in time. Rayleigh would have been pretty great. Could have at least taken care of something like Nami. Now this Beckman can also do the job, can take care of Nami as well. Looks like I got a spattering of 2Ks in my hand as well. So we could potentially just go like a 6K hit here and play out Beckman. We're going to go ahead and play out Beckman here. Beckman likely going to be targeting that Nami, just because that Nami is going to be drawing Uta so many cards in addition to the leader effect. We could potentially be getting 2 cards a turn for just 2 Dawn. In addition to the draw for turn, that's pretty insane. So we wanted to definitely get rid of that there. Beckman being a very solid play here, as it's better to kind of contest board at this point. And then I'm not going to be swinging 6K because, again, they got a 7K body. That good old Luffy. I could have attached one to Rayleigh and swung 7K to at least force a card out of hand, but really don't see the point in doing that, as it's going to be sitting on blocker duty here. My goal as the Shanks player is control, get to my late game and finish off Uta here. So not going to be seeing me be too aggressive right now. I'm going to go ahead and take a 7K hit here. I'm looking for something to do here. My hand is cluttering up a little bit with too much counter, which maybe isn't a bad thing, but you know, I kind of want a little bit more of a top hand to lean into on these next few turns. So I kind of just decided to take that hit. I could have used Shanks' ability and a 2K to get out of it, but I wanted to see what I could find here, and I'm still at 4 life. Though my opponent does play it out there that there's 7-drop Luffy, putting a Usopp into play. So board's completely full, 2 7-drops in play, and we've got a dragon in hand, and looks like another Rayleigh. We could play out this Rayleigh here to draw 2 cards, trash 1, as potentially to try to look for the Shanks here. Would really like to see the 8 cost Rayleigh at this point, right? 8 cost Rayleigh can weaken one of the Luffys to allow me to kind of invalidate it as a blocker here. We're going to go ahead and swing 7K here. Very simple 7K swing. Opponent could just block in 1K, but this is still going to get a card out of his hand here. And instead he's going to opt to take it here, going down to 4 life. I'm at 10 Dawn. Got a whole bunch of counter in hand and an 8-drop dragon. Just could just play dragon out here to just push additional pressure just on my opponent's hand and on my opponent's board. I think that's what we're just going to do. Establish a 9K body on board that we can definitely protect with the cards in our hand. We're going to go ahead and use Dragon's Effect. I'm going to totally... Hopefully we catch this here. I think, yeah. So it's 2 rested Dawn, and I think my idea was this just swing 9-9. But yeah, 2 rested Dawn going onto a leader or character here, and I think we're just going to attach the rest of it and go ahead and send 9 at lead here. This will prompt potentially a block plus a 2K 1K or a life taken. Looks like a block plus a 2K 1K. We're going to go ahead and swing 9K into the rested Luffy here. Just try to clear some of those annoying pesky blockers off the board. We're going to pass back to my opponent here. Still got 4 life, got a whole lot of counter in hand. I think that's at least three 2Ks and a 0 cost event and a Rayleigh in hand. So definitely going to be protecting ourselves if my opponent's just going to throw little pot shots into me. If he does swing any 5Ks, I can easily use neuter at least one of them with Shanks' ability, which makes Shanks just such a great leader for late game control decks here. We're going to see opponents attach 1 Dawn to Uta. Gonna go ahead and swing 6K. I gotta keep getting value off Uta. If you're not attaching Dawn to Uta, you're not playing her right, because you want to be getting at least 1 additional card every turn. I'm just gonna 2K counter of that. No reason for me yet to use my leader ability here, as I've got plethora of 2Ks sitting at least 2 more in hand plus a 0 cost event. I am still at 4 life, and my board has gotten rather large. You got a 7K body, a 6K to 5K body, as well as a good old dragon. Now I could have potentially blocked with Lucky Root at any point so far, but I haven't really felt the need to just yet. I can just use a 2K out of hand. I can always save that blocker for later when it matters the most. Uta can get pretty explosive and start swinging more than once if they have the I'm Invincible event. So that is something to think about as the game drags on, right? If I get to a position where I'm low on hand size, low on life, I could face a situation where I would potentially die, but you know, having these blockers up makes me feel an extra blanket of safety wrapped around me here. And if you like this type of content so far, speaking of blankets of safety, I feel a blanket of safety by all my awesome community members here, as we're getting very close to 600. And if this video is launched and we already hit 600, then woohoo! We did it, we hit 600. But we're getting very close to 600 subscribers. I am so proud of my community, and we're having a whole lot of fun here with these new series. But if you like this type of content, like this type of gameplay, like one of these leaders, definitely like the video, definitely subscribe, join the crew. We're always looking for new crew members aboard the All Blue crew. We're going to see good old Uda play out an 8-drop kid. Not going to put anything into play off his ability here, but going to have... Actually, no, he put that Usopp into play. And then just going to have a nice little 8k body for me to start swinging into. Normally, Kid is really good in situations where your opponent has a lot of low, powered characters, 5Ks, 6Ks, but I do not have that. I have a 9K on board. We're going to go ahead and swing 12K into Kid here, and Kid's going to immediately bite the dust. Just basically served as an additional blocker here. And now I've got 8 more Don to work with. As you can tell by me using my Don to attach, I definitely don't have a big drop to play here. We're going to go ahead and swing 9K into the tapped Luffy. He's going to take, just counter out of that. We're going to go swing 5K here. Going to go ahead and take that one here. Shields down, only got 3 cards in hand. And no Luffy blocker here. I tried to take out the Luffy blocker, but unfortunately opponent saves it here. And we're just going to go ahead and play out Rayleigh. Rayleigh's going to draw us 2, going to trash us 1. We found a Shanks, so we found one of our boss monsters on this next turn here. And things are not looking very good for Uda's side. Uda's getting a little low on hand size, though Uda can rectify that by easily attaching 1 Don and swinging here. Again, notably, one of the big reasons we got rid of Nami on the board is Nami was going to potentially also fuel Uda's hand here. And we're in a pretty solid position as the Shanks player now. I got 2 blockers on board, ended up using that Lucky Roo. And now just kind of working here. Did I not kill anything with that Lucky Roo? I don't actually know. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'm not gonna go back and look. I'm pretty sure I probably did, but I actually don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. Did I kill anything with that? Oh fuck. Oh well. Continue on here. Yeah, that's usually an outtake that gets cut out, but I'm not gonna do it this time. We're gonna play raw. If you're listening this long, then you obviously enjoy this type of content. So I leave in these little things for you guys here. We're going to see an 8K go into, I think, me, if not Beckman here. It looks like a 9K instead. Going to go ahead and activate. Oh no, it's a Kid. One of 2 cards in the deck that you cannot get off of Uda's ability. Just we're going to say we're going to minus 1K that down to a 9K, and we're going to, yep, just, so it was going at the Beckman. That was 9K into Beckman. We're going to minus 1 and then 2K out of it there to protect the Beckman. Now, there could be an I'm Invincible happening, which could mean another big swing into Beckman. I could just easily Rayleigh out of that one here. But, yeah, no. So, pretty solid right now. I'm still thinking about that Beckman. You should let me know in the chat, in the comments, if I used the Beckman or if I forgot about it. Oh my gosh. I'm probably going to go back and edit and leave a little comment on there if I did. All right. Opponent's just going to swing I'm Invincible again. Remember, Shanks' ability negates power for the whole turn, so I could easily just use another 2K to get out of it to protect my Beckman here. And then now he's going to be singing 7K into my Beckman, which is just going to prompt another 2K here. And my opponent has blew a lot of gas here to try to take out that Beckman. Could potentially attach 2 more Don Usopp to try again, but at this point, those Rayleighs are just going to stand right in the way if he decides to go for that. Grabbing 3 Don, potentially going to attach it over, but then thinking about my 2 pesky blockers on the field here. Gonna go ahead and swing 8K into Rayleigh. Into Beckman. We're gonna go to counter out of that. That Beckman is way too worthwhile for me to keep around here. Gonna be a great tool I can use to finish the game. And now we're going into kind of the golden turn here. I think I'm just gonna slam down the Shanks. Always slam down the Shanks. It's gonna weaken my opponent's entire board. He's now going to have to use 1 Don on each of those Usopps just to swing 5K, which is going to be absolutely brutal for his Don usage here. And we've got a whole lot of attackers here, likely going to try to clean up a little bit of the board while also going for face here. And we'll see what we end up doing. We're going to go 9K into his 6K Luffy, minus 1 by Shanks. Opponent only, what, 3 cards in hand? Not enough to counter out of it. Going to just let that go. And then I think we're going to swing 7. We could swing 5K into 4. Yeah, we're going to swing 5 into 4 here. Going to get just a 2K out of opponent's hand, just kind of starving resources here. And then I think we're going to go a 7K into that 4K here to seal the deal on that specific kill. And then we're just going to go 12K lead. Going to knock Uta down to 2. It is a Shanks. Oh my gosh. It's a Shanks. I even, you know what's funny is in this specific moment, I even go, all right, you going to swing with Shanks, give you a Shanks. And So that's why he showed it to me. Yeah, no, that's like the one thing that Uda has into this Shanks deck, is just has an ability to KO any character that's rested, right, for 9 Dawn, which is pretty crazy, and that's the Shanks character for the film deck there. So he saw exactly that. Funny enough, I think he also saw one off the top. So regardless, yeah, regardless, this Shanks is gonna be history here. We're gonna have Shanks on Shanks self-harm here. As yeah, I think that Shanks is gonna bite the dust. Dragon's not a worthy target. Definitely gotta take the Shanks out. We're gonna see 9-cost Shanks take out a Shanks. You love to see it if you're on Uda, you hate to see it if you're on Shanks, but there was no way I was going to get out of that situation with one coming off the top off of Uta's effect and one coming out of life. I definitely couldn't have avoided that here, and we're going to go back into my turn here. Shanks did do some work from last turn to let me clear 2 bodies and take a life from him, so I'm not too upset at what Shanks had done for me, but unfortunate that he was so easily taken out by himself here. We're going to go ahead and swing 8k lead here, just kind of pushing pedal to the metal. We know my opponent has a Shanks in hand, which means that's no counter in hand. Gonna go ahead and swing another 9k here. Gonna take that one too. That is very bad. And we're gonna go ahead and swing 14k into lead, and I end up picking it up with Shanks here against Uda. If you like this type of content, definitely subscribe, join the crew, and we'll see you in the next video.